Welcome back to the BArnzy channel, Real Talk Reviews. This time we have the Ion Pro Solid. As you can see, nice bright blue, easy to see. TX16, that's the Phase 2 cover, 247, 035, 014, same numbers as the Ion Pro. Well, let's get it down the lane and see what it does. As usual, I'm going to start a little bit to the right so you can see what's on the lane. I'm here at the ITRC in Arlington. Thank you to them for letting us use their facility. As you see, there's a little bit of hook out there, but maybe not quite as much as the 20-to-1 we see on some of the house shots. As always, if you like the jerseys or anything else, go to coolwick.com, use BArnzy10, you get a discount on those. Stood 15, looked at 7-8. It's really not far enough right for a pattern, but now we'll move in a little bit. Not bad. Interesting point. It is asymmetrical, but still kind of labeled as a benchmark type ball. Last week on the PBA 50 tour, we already saw two different guys in the step ladder, and actually they both bowled for the title using this ball on a relatively difficult, about, I would say 2.5-to-1 pattern that was somewhat low scoring. Oh boy. That would have held at Louisville. I don't know. It's not my fault. But we're going to label this challenge as a, and this is the Ion Pro. So the difference between these two balls is mostly cover. But drilling wise, the Ion Pro is about an inch stronger. And we'll throw it down there so you can see what I already know to be the difference between these two. Looks pretty good there. The Ion Pro in general is a little bit earlier and will tend to get a little bit more forward quickly. The thing that we've noticed with this, the Solid, is that it gets a little bit longer and the continuation window is longer. So a little cleaner to get through the front, which really with the surfaces that we're bowling on more and more every day, feels like that's a bigger problem. Again, I'll throw this one. This one's a 4x3x2, and the other one's 5x3x2.5. All right. That one picked up earlier, and you saw the friction. So the Ion Pro is a little bit earlier overall, and on the fresh house condition, it's going to hook more. As the lane breaks down, it's going to flip, and the Solid will be the one that is will save more energy. But I think where we can really show this is when we throw it slower. You can see. And I'll try and roll it a little bit. And we'll see what two balls do. Give it more time on the lane. Historically, what we've seen on tour is that the Ion Pro tends to get a little bit more forward, and for some players even stops a little bit. In that case, we're still fresh enough that it's coming around the corner, but you can see it pick up sooner and be a little smoother overall. This ball is really, for most people, is replaced as a cleaner option of that benchmark for a lot of guys. Add some rotation. Made my bag pretty quick, I can tell you that. and that's where you get hurt a little bit by the smoother part. Just didn't come through it quite as much. I'm a pretty big fan so far. From a versatility standpoint, I think you can do a lot of different things with this ball. As you would expect, said normally not a big fan of having asymmetrical balls as a kind of benchmark type thing, but that smooth continuation, that long window, and that's really the biggest difference between these two balls, is that I feel like the Solid probably has a 2 foot longer continuation window than the original Pro does. You can see that shows up the fact that it's probably 2 to 3 feet sooner as well. A little bit smoother overall, but both, obviously this original Ion Pro has a little surface on it. I have touched this with 2000. It is game used. It's not my usual review that's fresh out of the box. I actually know a little bit about it now. In this case, that's helped because it's made me like it even more. Now, who will like this ball? Well, actually, I think this is going to be a pretty good one that a lot of people are going to like. If you are really speed dominant, though, you bowl on patterns where you really struggle to get it to pick up, this is going to be on the weaker end. This is going to be on the lower end of your bag. If you're a slower, softer player, this can be in the middle to high end of your bag. But players that roll it, I think even though it's low RG, it still continues long enough that that's not going to be a big deal. You can spin it a little bit. That's where you're going to run a little trouble. If you're a higher speed and you have a lot of axis rotation, this one you might have to have pretty good speed control because it doesn't flare as much as the bigger balls. But the combination of TX16, that phase 2 cover, and this lower flaring core is a pretty good match for today's house shot patterns, and some of these patterns where the lanes really hook. So, Ion Pro Solid, it is already out in the market now, and you can get yours at a local pro shop. So, certainly Beef and Barnzy approved. I think the Ion Pro Solid is a small improvement over the original. It's already made my bag. It already has a win on the PBA 50 Tour, so you don't have to have a big rev rate to throw this one either. But definitely Beef and Barnzy approved. Get one at your pro shop today. Come back to Beef and Barnzy channel for more Real Talk reviews.